Welcome to another installment of the Coolest of the Cool, the Coolly Cool Show. This episode is Jane Harrow is alive. And yes, I have talks. People say, what are you talking about? Jane Harrow's not alive because at the end of it, they said she's not among us and not with us anymore. But she is Jane Harrow. Let's say, put it this way. I believe that all the Call of Duty, especially the Black Ops and certain other ones, if you didn't see the character get killed off, it's like the Fast and the Furious. They'll be back for a future installment because guess what? It's family. So, Jane Harrow, who, spoiler alert, if you did not know, is revealed as being the main antagonist of the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 storyline, the campaign. We get into a little trade. As far as reasoning behind why she decided to turn working for the CIA, then turning towards the Pantheon, and shit like that. So let's dive into this. Let's get at it. Thank you for tuning in, and if you haven't done so already, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get all the latest new updates and videos when I post and everything. So go ahead and do that. And also, by the way, you can also check out my several other videos that I did make also. But other than that, let's get into it. So, people will talk says Jane Harrow is not alive. She got her and Case both died in the helicopter the heroes that took off at the end of the campaign mission. I'm gonna put it this way. Like I said at the beginning of this video, if you didn't see it, it more likely didn't happen. They will lead you, especially with these Black Ops games, will lead you down a rabbit hole that will later reveal itself to some underlying ways and underlying reasonings behind certain situations and why certain personnel are now back in the game. Ring ding dong, ring a ding 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 dong. Let's, for instance, Frank Woods, a beloved character. We liked him in the first Call of Duty Black Ops. Frank Woods was tough, hard-nosed, straightforward. You like, this guy's badass. He's kicking. He's everything you want out of a special operations community member, operative. So then you saw in Black Ops, as Alex Mason was getting his ass handed to him, then all of a sudden, that, Kurchenko gets stabbed in the back right by Frank Woods. Frank Woods then is like, says something. Then there's Kurchenko. He says, he pulls the pins or supposed grenades from him off his body. And then they both, him, Frank Woods, Kurchenko, go out the window, crash through whatever. I forgot the window. And seemingly an explosion happens. We don't see either of those characters ever again until, Black Ops 2. But at that point in time, we were like, okay, I guess the Black Ops 1, that Frank Woods and Kurchenko both were KIA'd, killed. But because they could just continue doing Alex Mason's story. And from that point on, we're like, okay, we lead to believe that those two characters are died off, they're gone, and not to be heard from. At that point in time, we're led to go down a certain rabbit hole, but then next in Black Ops 2, who do we see? Our boy Frank Woods. This time he's in a wheelchair, and we're like, wait, what the fuck just happened? And he's an older gentleman, and we're like, holy fucking shit, he's in Black Ops 2. We're wondering how in the hell did it. Now there's a backlot story that really doesn't really get into it. All you find out that him and Kurchenko somehow survived, with Kurchenko having the bomb, grenade strapped to his chest, and then all of a sudden that he's alive. Him and Frank Woods. Not gonna ask you questions. They went down the Fast and the Furious train where you don't need to ask questions. Just to let it know, it's because it's family. So that's just one instant of characters reappearing, and then all of a sudden be like, how the fuck did you, I thought you got killed off. No. So then we go to Call of Duty, the Modern Warfare, the new installment. Alex from the Modern Warfare, he gets an order from Farah to go blow up. Then he has to do it manually because the detonator is broken. Then next, if you play Warzone, you end up finding out Alex survived somehow, and he apparently had his leg blown off, but that's about it. He's alive, and goes like, "Oh, Alex is here." It's just fucking weird. And then the same thing with, Graves. He was supposedly eating a tank, and the next one he's alive. Sounded well. Now, that's what people say, wait, how the hell did it happen where we thought he was killed off, and then all of a sudden he's back again? Now, this is the same way for Jane Harrow. I don't think Jane Harrow's story is done and over with, but at the same time, I've said in my previous podcast, and videos, that Jane Harrow is alive. I think that her story is weak, though, in Call of Duty Black Ops 6, because basically it's banks on the fact that when she was a child, her family that she knew worked for the CIA. Her mother and father, as they worked for the CIA, makes there was like a home invasion into her house, where apparently an operative whom she thinks from the agency or some government official came in and killed her parents. Now, it's never revealed that point. She just takes upon herself, because considering the fact that her parents work for the CIA, she's concluding this matter to her own. Now, this gave her motivation in order to be, an employee, to work her way up, to get hired on by the CIA, and then to work her way up in the hierarchy to the chain of command, the higher parts of the CIA's, administration. And once she's there, she starts to utilize the resources there to find out who might have killed her parents, since she has a chip on her shoulder or a hunch to believe that it might have been some government type of officials from whom she thinks is the organization which she works from. Now, as she goes about this, next thing you know, she is given a disc, which later in my video will showcase this. She's given a disc that reveals. But here, check this part out here before I start talking a little more, because I don't want to jump far ahead. She's a little kid. She hears something going on. She goes to the door. She opens the door.
Jane,
bam! Her mom comes in, frantic. Now, hear what she has to say.
A little accident, that's all. Mommy needs you to stay in your room.
Why do you have a gun?
Jane, just get under your bed and stay there as long as you can, okay? It's like you're playing hide and seek.
I don't want to.
Jane, please, get under the bed, okay? Just get under the bed. I love you.
I love you too.
Someone that knows.
Alright, so her mom told her to get under the bed, so she gets under the bed. As a child, she's about to horrendously find out. Now, this is her alter ego. Now, I love this.
I need to know.
Keep your mouth shut.
Now, her alter ego, herself that's embedded to keep all the bad stuff that's happened to her as a childhood, is kept inside her, deep down. And those 3 shards of glass are a representation of her piecing her life back together. Having the post-traumatic stress from those events, from those time period. That time period. Now, here we go. This is something else with it.
Save yourself. Whatever you have to do.
No! Janie. Stay here. No. Look at me. Stay here. Don't make a sound. I'll come for you. Understand?
Yes, but...
Shh. Be brave for me. Okay? Be brave.
You never told me this about how they died.
Alright, so we just seen Jane's mom get shot and killed. Her dad picks her up, puts her in the closet, and says, hey, hide. So she's basically essentially hiding. Then we go over here with a Pantheon. Now, I mean, I've told you already beforehand that the story for her, the motivation for her to do this is based on believing that somebody within the Central Intelligence Agency marked her parents. Now, why would her parents be marked and be taken out? Doesn't sound really kind of, unless her parents were double agents or hiding something that never is going to be revealed. Maybe it could be revealed if what I'm saying holds some truth. So here we go. Hold on.
What is this? Who sent you? Wait! Wait!
I would only understand this moment years later.
Now, if you didn't notice, let's just take it piece by piece by that. The fact that that individual who came in, shot Jane's father. Now, did anybody notice anything from that? That Jane's father pulled out a knife and the masked gunman had pointed the gun at Jane's father, but then put the gun away and then proceeded to go ahead and do hand-to-hand combat before eventually pulling their gun back out and then shooting Jane's father. Now, that sounds like it may have been up to a point where they might have wanted to ask some questions about some information or whatever that Jane's parents or father might have known about, because certainly he took his time to whip his ass, throwing into things. Maybe might have been built up on suspense or drama to keep the player involved. But does it seem like maybe, Jane's parents could have been double operatives, could have been, rogue agents sold out to the highest bidder, because as we do see later down the coming years with Jane, she eventually turns and goes against the CIA. So things are starting to kind of match up a little bit better than what at first glance, first play, you're starting to see some cracks, just like we're seeing cracks in this goddamn wall over there. So, I mean, and this is leading up to where I don't think Jane is gone dead or whatever. I think she's taking a break. I think the developers are probably saying, you know what, how can we bring her back in the fray? We planted a seed for her to be a character to continue on. I think her and Case are, going to have a much more significant role as it goes down. Now, first of all, I want to know what the fuck Case looks like. Second of all, I want to know what Case's fucking real deal is. We know he got exposed. He's a test fucking subject. And on top of that, it is what it is. He's just a fucking test subject that they utilize to be a super soldier. Now, check this part out as far as somebody slips a disc underneath Jane's door. Oh, wait a minute. We got Evil Jane here who's trying to hold down some justice. You gotta admit, Evil Jane looking like she's gonna kick someone. Well, she did kick the shit out of her. So, I mean, you just have to look at this from different perspectives and different avenues to suggest that a lot of these Black Ops missions, Black Ops games, and the Call of Duty games, if you don't see the character get killed off, they're not gone. They have a chance to reappear. They will pull a Fast and the Furious family type of thing where they thought they were done, thought they were dead, and then they just come back. Because guess what? They're not going to tell you why. They're just going to say, hey, you didn't see it happen, so shut your fucking mouth. It's a game. So watch here. Knock, knock. Oh, somebody slides a disc. Now, this is where I go to say, this is why I say the storyline to this doesn't really hold much great weight, because whoever the Pantheon is, an organization that wants to go against the CIA, wants to go against the U.S. government. So what ends up happening is that maybe the Pantheon's real leader, the real real person, the mastermind behind, says, you know what, we need somebody high up in the chain of command of the CIA in order. Now let's read bits of. Now let's look at this right here. Access granted. Window 2300 to 2310. High degree confidence. Single operative shoot to kill. Home intrusion. 8 September 1960, Emerson Black. So basically, you have a single operative that's sent in to go take out Jane Harrow's parents, both parents. Now, it doesn't say anything about their contract, but their cover is a home intrusion. So, obviously, it's covered as a home intrusion. Now, could this have been planted by the CIA, considering the fact that they have so many secrets, so many lies that they tell? They do this in order to say, hey, let's cover it up as a home intrusion, and we'll leave it at that. Maybe because they are double operatives working for some other foreign organization or government. And then she believes that Adler was the person that killed her parents. But wouldn't Adler be very much younger? It's never divulged how when Adler joined the Central Intelligence Agency, because this apparently happened in 1960. Now, we're first introduced to Adler in 1980 or 81 in Black Ops Cold War. But we do know that Adler was working with the Central Intelligence Agency in 1968 when he went to participate to pick up the bomb, him and Sims, and, you know, made up the memory. But we do know he was part of that. Now, do we know how far back he worked with the Central Intelligence Agency? No, we don't. But we're divulged and we're told information that Jane Harrow's parents were possibly killed, what she believes, killed by Adler himself. But there's no mentioning, no evidence to support that. All we do have is a disc that could have been planted by the Pantheon to get somebody up there who's been gaining a lot of promotions and getting up to the hierarchy, getting, you know, able to uncover more things with the amount of pool that they're having. You know, and finding out something in Jane's background, they probably manipulated her. They probably utilized that for their own advantage. I mean, it is to talking about the CIA, and we're talking about individuals up in the CIA that can do manipulation pools like that, and if they wanted to start their own type of pantheon to take over, they already have the know-how to do so within the organization, because they do it upon other people, outside governments, outside officials, outside agencies, outside you know, personnel. So what does it say they wouldn't do it to their own individual personnel within their organization, especially if they want to get to a certain point to be able to take? I mean, this game takes a different avenue, and frankly, I'm not sold on the fact that Jane, you know, and the storyline, oh, this is what happened, you know, oh, Jane, and I'm not sold on this being a very good storyline. Basically, I think Jane is a pawn. I said this in my last video, that I believe Jane is just a pawn. She's not the mastermind. She's just somebody that fell victim to everything that's happened. And then you have here a clip here. It says target eliminated. Now, frankly, we don't know who that might have been. Even Wood says, you know, he says, how can you even trust your thought? You were just a child then. And she's like, I know I was. And she at that point realized she doesn't know. And then she said, it wasn't Adler. So she has no clue who did it, but she's going to blame the CIA with no evidence, just being supported by the fact that she got a document or disc stating. Now, could that have evidence, or not evidence, could that disc have been planted and came up so that way it would fuel her motivation to track down who possibly might have killed her parents? Could have been the Russians who wanted to, during the Cold War type, that era, could have been the Russians, meaning finding out somebody within high up in the organization who has pull to internally break down the CIA and their main mission. You know, a lot of things can happen within internally. Everybody knows that Russia fell internally because their seeds planted, things were done in order to make them collapse with inside. So what does it say that that isn't something that is happening or has happened, to the fact of Jane's character. She was implanted to try to destroy the agency within by other individuals outside who says, you know what, how can we make them fall when we can do it from within? Sounds more like kind of a, I don't know, crazy movies type of situation, but it seems like we've seen something like this happen before. We have here where Jane's just fighting off her inner selves, her inner demons. But like I said, I don't think we're done or have seen the last of Jane at all, because of the simple fact that Jane is a character that leads us to a little bit of mystery. We just know that her parents got killed, and as her parents got killed, she decided to turn because she believes from what she discovered on the disc, somebody slipped under her door, to be, it's the CIA's fault. They're the ones that did it. So I'm just gonna not look at anything else and just blame them. So this has all the makings to say that, and when we get towards the end, you'll figure out why I say this on the reference that Jane Harrow is alive, because everything says that you have some more mystery to Jane as her character. You only know one thing, like I said, her parents were killed by some type of maybe agent or whatever, and that's all we know. That's what fuels her. But there's nothing really, as far as having played throughout the gameplay of the campaign, you don't get much else. What you get is that she probably had a relationship, a good relationship with Troy Marshall, and that's pretty much all we know. Everything else leads us to say there has to be another, a portion that happens between us. And by the way, why does everything all have to stem with biological, weaponry? I mean, what the fuck was going on during the 60s and 70s, to be honest? I mean, frankly, in reality, in real life, I mean, I'm pretty sure they were doing some shit like that, but god damn. I mean, it seems like, I guess, countries can't get over by just testing shit on humans and trying to create the perfect, super soldier. I mean, look at Case, like I'm playing him right now, and, you found out that he was a test subject. Now, I like the fact that Case, the character you play, Case, is the operative that is a test subject, and you find out a little bit about his background, that he was a case subject and he was the only one to be successful in the trials on the super soldier program. But that's pretty much about it. We don't know anything much about him. We don't really get to hear him talk. We don't get to see as far as his background. You just know a small portion. I think this is very imperative. I think what you have is two characters, only one thing is revealed about them, and as their one thing is revealed about them, they are pretty much, supposedly say, oh, they're done and over. I don't think so. I think we're leading on to maybe there's more things that should be or going to be revealed. Hell, is the way Call of Duty and Warzone and the whole shabago, I'm pretty sure you'll end up seeing a story of, Case or Jane Harrow coming to, surprise as, hey, they're here. This is what supposedly happened, but didn't happen. But we're not going to tell you what happened, but they're here in the goddamn video game. So you can play them. Oh, by the way, get their skins, and the skin's going to be like, $20. And there you go. Be sure to pay. You can play as Jane Harrow, get her skins with, everything come out. Oh, get the New Year's Eve skin of Jane Harrow. Or, oh, guess what? Get the Valentine's Day skin of Harrow. Oh, matter of fact, Easter's coming up. Get the Easter Bunny skin of Jane Harrow. I can see the profit margin running out the line, out the door, as shit that I'm saying will happen, more likely is gonna happen. So this is just my take on it. I mean, it's freaking, the thought process and everything, abundance to it, it gets wild. So a lot of some of this right now is a little bit gameplay of me playing this Case. But I'm leading you guys got to think a little bit. Think about how the characters that we know in Call of Duty. They have somehow came back, and then it's like never explained. This would be a perfect time, well, not time right now, but it'd be perfectly done to set up them to, delve back into the, gameplay and not ever revealing why that person decided to, we just got rid of him, or we left it a cliffhanger. Because the minute you played, you probably were like me, you probably were like, what in the hell just happened in this game? Because you're more or less thinking along the lines of, hey, at the end of this game, shit went down, we thought something happened, but nothing was revealed, nothing stated. We have some maybe verbiage that could suggest that, oh, they're done and over with, but it's never stated. It's just, they're gone. And for our protagonist, Case is, I think, to be honest, this character Case, I'm gonna say it, and I don't care what anybody else says. I think this character Case sucks. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the lines of, hey, they liked the Cold War. They liked how we had where Bell, you get to play as him. He didn't fucking talk, and on top of not talking, he eventually was brainwashed and, pulled to work with the CIA to help accomplish their mission. And then at the end, you know what? Yeah, we got rid of him. He's outdone his use. Get rid of him. Yeah, okay, Adler, do your thing. And Adler's like, yes, no problem. I just like, you kind of sometimes have to look at how certain things are, and I don't know. It cracks me up sometimes, and what type of styles they go back before. Like I said, you got another character, Case, doesn't talk. He has a small background. At least I can tell you right now, as far as Black Ops Cold War, playing as Bell, you got pretty much a background on it. He was one of the high-ranking officials up in Perseus's, organization, and then another guy who didn't want to be, have competition as being the number one or number two guy, decided to take him out for his own beneficial gain. And then at that time, he didn't finish the job. Bell was left alive, clinging, and Adler and his crew found him, and then with whatever significant injuries, Bell had, they were able to kind of, hey, let's just use this program to try to get him on our side and reveal some shit and be able to fucking hook us up and do what he needs to do for us. And which wasn't bad. Gave a backstory, says this dude, hey, you was the top man, we just kind of screwed you over, brainwashed the fuck out you, but your backstory is there. Case, you don't really get that other than you go to a research facility where they're like, hey, Case, you're back. You have a voice talking to you too, and you find out he was the first test subject of the Cradle program, and he actually did successful. Then they were like, hey, you're gonna get the help you need. That sounds like, man, all the other shit went to shit. We're closing the program. By the way, we'll make sure we're gonna take care of you. So you're not gonna have anything fungus green fungus growing out your ass, but we're gonna take care of you. You can get your medical treatment that you need. So it just seems that this Case character that we've played, it's like, he's kind of weak. Maybe they might set up for him to be portrayed in another Black Ops. And that's why I'm thinking, as far as Jane, I mean, does she seem like massive reveal? Oh, I didn't really think that she was going to be the bad guy. Holy shit. I think they're not done with Jane. I'm telling you, you might see this in the coming weeks or months, that Jane is revealed to be alive. Because guess what? They're going to be like, we need people to continue to buy some more skins and some more things on the war zone. So Jane Harrow skin's gonna probably reveal itself pretty soon. They're gonna have a makeup on Warzone or having it. You know, you play with her in Plunder and all this other multiplayer stuff. Look, if that happens, come back to my page, go to my comment section, say, hey, dude, Coolly Cool was right. He wasn't bullshitting us. He was actually telling us the truth. Because guess what? Call of Duty likes money. They like lots and lots of money. So they're gonna wanna able to pull that lucrative money pool in there as much as they can. Oh, and so we're back here. It says, look, reveals Pantheon's plan. Now, this is exactly what I told you as part of the separation anxiety. She's been juiced up with that acid. And another thing I have to say is, like, this has already been a spoiler alert, that the Cradle is supposed to be released at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C.
Avalon's where they'll take me once I'm free.
I'm just like, really? Capitol building? Majority of people don't even like the government, and they want to release the Capitol building. Majority of people will be like, okay, and you point fucking beam? Those fat fucking cats up there keep stealing our money and keep fucking taxing the shit out of us. You release it there? Well, I guess, you know, they're gonna get a couple other new people up there to maybe fucking fix this shit, or, you know, not steal tons and tons of money and then put money in their fucking pockets and then fucking beat the little guy down with bullshit. So I don't think the people are gonna be mad. I think the innocent civilians, you know, that's a detriment. But, you know, they say the Capitol building, I bet you that wasn't like a, oh my god, no, they can't do that, Jesus goodness, oh. I think mixed reviews are like, Capitol building? Oh, Capitol building, oh, okay. Alright, yeah, alright, cool. You know, it's not a big turn like, oh my god, Capitol building. No. That's how I felt when I was like, oh, it's Capitol building? And I mean, this is supposed to be there in the 80s, but I'm like, well, the early 90s, I'm like, still, you know, I'm not feeling it. You know, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that's like, yeah, Capitol, I guess I gotta lose some historical or, you know, landmark type of, you know, building or area. Just, I mean, you know, it's a little bit different if they were to say, oh, they're going to release this thing, you know, during the Super Bowl. You know, that'd be something where, like, oh, we're going to release this thing during the U.S. is open. Or, you know, something like that. But the Capitol would be like, people says, yeah, I don't know. The game itself starts to, I guess, like, needs to pad up its runtime, and it's kind of like, look, we need to close this shit the fuck out and get on with this, and let's go and hurry up. And, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. They're like, look, game's getting a little long. We need to fucking wrap this shit the fuck up. The gameplay is somewhere about, if you play it straight, is somewhere about maybe 7 and maybe 9 hours of gameplay. That's what I think. And with about 3 of those missions being pretty fucking long, you know, I don't think that's bad. I think you get your money's worth out of playing the game, you get your money's worth out of playing the campaign, and that's what your big thing you want out of it. Me personally, I gave this game a solid 7 out of 10. It's not that bad, it's not that great, it's not that bad, but it's not that horribly bad. It's just a simple fact that I think we've already seen this before, and for you gay gamers, you can sit there and say, you just know what good game is, man. You don't know what it is, bro. No, man. No. What it is, this game tries to go somewhere, but then it slowly drifts, tilts the hell off just a tad bit, and it was like, okay. I don't know. That's why I said I gave it a 7 out of 10. And, like, listen to this. Like, they're going to blame Livingston for the greatest CIA. Last I heard at the beginning, he's not even the number one. The director. He's just, like, the second man behind number one. And then they're going to put Jane in. What the fuck is going on? That's where it says, listen, Livingston, you should have known about this. What the fuck? Livingston, be like, hey, I got people out there. So it's Livingston's problem. and they're gonna put Jane, and then the Pantheon's gonna be in charge. And what are they gonna do? Hey, we just want her in power. So at some point in time, we can do whatever the fuck we want to. It's not sitting. It's not sitting heavy with me. It's not sitting something significant that is like, oh, this is really, really impactful. You know, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it sounds weak. I think it's weak. You can think what you want to think. You can like what you want to like. My opinion is my opinion, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's just, I mean, she's not coming off as like a, what's his name? Raul Menendez. Raul Menendez, now that was a character. That was a evil villain where you like, you know the backstory, you see his motivations, you see how terrible and evil he is, and you see what he wants to try and do. That in the whole realm is like, it brings you like, holy shit, this motherfucker is on point. You know, even with Dragovich in the first Black Ops, she's like, this guy is bad because he just wants to try to take over and do certain shit. You know, you see the badness of those bad guys. Jane doesn't fit the bad guy. It just seems like they're like, we need somebody. And then on top of that, like I said, look at that. Why the fuck was she even carrying the goddamn cradle? Or why was it even brung when they're doing a rescue mission to go rescue her?
Can't let her get away. It's up to you.
Like I said, some weird shit. Some weird shit. I think the main protagonist Case is kind of lost after, you know, they capture Jane, and it's kind of, he's put on the back end, and it's like, oh, whoa, you know, Case can help, he can stop her. I think it's pretty much whatever. And this is what I'm talking about, where they're on the helicopter, Case jumps on top, shoots the guy, boom, bam. Oh, she tries to kick him. He somehow still grabs a hold. The helicopter slides this way. Big old body of water. He jumps up. Dude doesn't see him. Grabs him. Throws him out. He jumps up. Now him and Harrow are fighting. She's like, I'm gonna get your ass. He's like, shut the hell up. And she's like shooting. Not shooting it, but she shoots the pilot. Pilot gets capped in the head. And now these two, I don't know how the door closed, but we're not gonna say anything about that. But they're trapped inside the helicopter. And this is where, like I said, once it cuts out, I don't think they're dead. I do not think they're dead. I think they're gone. I think Jane Harrow is alive. So we're gonna go to where Jane snaps and just goes all out. Hold on.
What you've done! I know what you really are, Case. The cradle made you this. You owe everything to the Pantheon. Destroy her. The cradle.
Like, she says that Case owes everything to the Pantheon because of the cradle. Why? Because the gas that they did, you know, trial and error, and Case was the first test subject, and it happened to work. I don't get it. Now they're underwater in the helo, and they're both fighting each other. Case is spazzing the fuck out, and he's about to choke this bitch. So
We have to get out of this.
like I said, nothing's ever revealed. Look, he says, "Okay, sit rep."
Livingston's cleared out the capital. Everyone's safe. It's over. We did it, Case.
Now, the way he says is, "Case, we did it. Case, we did it." Doesn't sit well. Then 2 weeks later, and then they never talk about Case. They don't even bring his name back up. And they say something about Harrow. She may be gone. I think she's gone because she left, got out of Dodge to kind of chill out and say, I'm gonna hide in the cut like peroxide and just be like low key and be like, all right, they don't even know. And by the way, this fucking scene where Livingston's out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and where's his car at? None, he don't got what motherfucker walk there. Now let's listen in on this. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos, so that way you get the latest ones that come out, so you can watch them first. So look at this. We'll let you know this, but like I said, Jane Harrow's alive. Be sure to follow her. She will be back in another installment. Same with Case. See ya. Peace.
Right now you have something of great value. Anonymity. You're in the shadows.
No shit. We've always been in the shadows.
Not like this. Your reach is greater than it's ever been. We need you, Woods. All of you. I can provide whatever you need. Accommodations, resources, cash, additional manpower. All of it off the books.
I thought the Cold War was over. No more need for, what was it? Global gunslingers.
Yes. The Cold War may be over, but the world is more dangerous than it's ever been. The nature of our enemy is unclear now.
What do you want us to do about it?
What you've always done. Protect us. Harrow may be gone, but not the Pantheon. I need you back in Avalon.
You think you're still a threat?
I do. And worse. Whatever cabal brought Harrow into the Pantheon still lives inside our house. We thought they were long gone. But
And one thing I just have to say real quick.
they never-
Who in the fucking blue balls hell is this guy? Somebody please tell me.
Talking about a detonator.